Yeah, so I co-founded Boston's first organic juice company, and it was a really great opportunity to be connecting local farmers to people in the city, and we were really interested in bringing more nutrition into the food supply chain, particularly an urban food supply chain. But one of the challenges we saw early on was that there was a lot of waste in our production. So making juice is really inefficient. And there were two challenges with that. The first is that, we were paying a lot for this great organic local produce, and then we were only using a tiny bit of it, the juice, and throwing out the rest of it. So our price points were pretty high, which meant that we weren't actually the affordable source of nutrition that we desired to be. And the second piece is when we were throwing out all that pulp at the end of the day, we were also throwing out all the resources that had gone into growing that. So it was very wasteful, inefficient, and it really stuck with me as a major challenge. As much as that was a fun and really exciting business, that was a real sticking point for me. I ended up having a very fortuitous conversation with the owner of a tofu factory. So the precursor to tofu is soy milk. And in his process of making soy milk, he has a byproduct as well, which is called okara. It's the pulp that comes out of the soy milk making process. And it's not that dissimilar from juicing. So, we have all the pulp from juicing. Soy milk, you're kind of squeezing the soybeans and you have that pulp left over, that okara. And we really bonded over the byproduct issue because he really felt it as well, that he was wasting a lot of this product that he was so intentional about sourcing. He was really sourcing the best organic, non-GMO, grown with cooperatives, soybeans, and having to waste half the product by weight. So that's when I realized, maybe this is actually an opportunity in and of itself to be addressing food waste and to be thinking of all this stuff that is processed out of our food system as actually just raw materials. It's just ingredients that we haven't discovered the use for yet. So that's really how I got started in the space. And then of course realized from there that this is not a problem limited to juicing. It's not a problem limited to soy milk manufacturing. There's so many places in our food system where we're processing out parts of the food, and often it's the part that has a lot of protein or has a lot of fiber, which are macronutrients that we all care about and want to put in our bodies. So we saw that as a starting point to build Renewal Mill. So with working in the upcycled space, one of the biggest challenges is that you are a bridge builder. So you're trying to bridge that gap between what's being produced, these byproducts that are, your new raw materials, and the customer. And so there's a couple challenges that come along with that. One is on the supply side, you definitely want to be working with a byproduct that has a shelf life. So you want to be processing something so that you're giving yourself the gift of time to be able to sell the product, because in a lot of cases, you're creating a market, which takes time. And then you also are, working with producers that really want a entire solution to their byproducts. So they don't want to just kind of give you little bits of the byproduct while you're building a market. They just want you to take all of it because that's the easiest way to plug into their system. So finding different places where the byproducts can go as you're building the market specific for human food is also very critical to kind of overcome that challenge. And then on the consumer side, it's also a lot of finding how you can best meet consumer demands using the byproducts that you have. So we spend a lot of time looking at the byproducts before we bring them into our collection of upcycled ingredients. We do a lot of analysis on what's there, what do they have in them, how can we best use them. We have our culinary team looks over them to see how they perform, how do they taste, how do they function. And we look at what is currently demanded in the market. Is it protein? Is it fiber? What are kind of the big opportunities, and try to best match those two before we even start with the market creation. Yeah, it's been a really amazing experience to be at ftalks. There's just so much happening. I think it's hard not to be inspired by all the passion that you see. I mean, I think food is a special space where you see a lot of that passion, and it's been amazing to see it here. And also, I think to see a large amount of collaboration, to have shareholders from all different parts of the system being in the same place and being able to have open conversations and this open dialogue is really inspiring.